Good people, what's going on? Episode 49 of the Dawn Podcast. Happy Sunday, you know. So recently I was looking at a lot of videos of people unreleased catalogs. You know what I'm saying? And I often wonder like, man, how did so many songs not make it to albums? You know what I'm saying? By different artists. I know it first started with like Tupac when all those Machiavelli mixtape started hitting the streets after he passed away. When it ended up being, obviously, it was a bunch of unfinished songs that he had recorded on death row. You know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of songs end up being on those albums that end up being put in stores. But on the streets, they were called like Machiavelli 5, Machiavelli 6. And it was a bunch of unreleased songs. People threw beats on that, you could tell that, well, maybe Pop picked some of those beats. Maybe he did. We know that those other joints, Are You Still Down, and all of those joints, producers, I guess Suge Knight or whoever had the rights, um, you know, put these producers behind his lyrics that he Pop wouldn't even work with some of those people, and he wouldn't have rapped over some of those beats. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, he had a lot of unreleased music. Some of it ended up being great music. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it ended up being a bunch of fluff. Uh, Most times, and I did a episode on Nas unreleased music, unreleased catalog. I mean, and to me, Nas has the deepest unreleased music. I mean, if you think about lost tapes, he could have several lost. He probably got 5 different lost tapes. There are so many different CDs that came out over the years, mixed CDs of people putting Nas unreleased music together. So we've talked about that before. Um, I remember speaking to a friend of mine who's a producer, and he had spoken to DJ Premier, and Premier to him, I think, said that Gangsta has so much unreleased music. Of course, they ended up doing that album after Guru passed away, and it was dope. How old was some of those songs? And I think that he even got some of the rights from Guru from that situation before Guru passed. So there was Gangsta had a lot of music. I remember watching Beats, Rhymes, and Life recently, again, a trial documentary. And I think that one of the executives, I don't think it was Chris Lighter, but Chris Lighter was on there talking about he had to take the album from Q-Tip because Q-Tip was holding on to it. But I think the other guy, I can't remember his name, talked about how many songs Tribe actually recorded. You know what I'm saying? During that time, might have been Low End Theory, might have been the Midnight Marauders era, but Q-Tip had recorded all these songs. And they were like, look, we got to get this album out, man. You know what I'm saying? So I often wonder how many songs Q-Tip have in the vaults that we'll never hear from Tribe or even his solo work. You know what I'm saying? You can imagine Kanye probably got a lot of songs that we'll never hear from different eras of his career. I assume Dad still got a lot of work from Death Row, a lot of beats and stuff. One point he played a song he did with Nas, a Dog Pound, and had like 2 Nas verses on it. You know what I'm saying? So nevertheless, people have a lot of music. Does Pete Rock have any Pete Rock and CL Smooth songs that it was never released? Who knows? How many songs does RZA have from Wu-Tang? How many songs does Outkast have we never heard? You know what I'm saying? How many songs does Scarface have we never heard? And all these guys could have lost tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas did that original lost tapes with do-rags and everything on it. Which led me up to Jay-Z today. Like, just people talking about Jay-Z a lot lately, which obviously, anytime I see the Jay-Z slander, I'm like, look, some of y'all are just doing this for engagement, and you're not sincere about your information because Jay-Z, if he's not the greatest, I mean, I have him in my top 5 all time, but he's definitely the biggest hip-hop star alive. You know what I'm saying? Outside of maybe Eminem, but that's because just population alone, Eminem is going to be, he's going to stream more, he's going to be larger. But in the core of hip-hop, in some hip-hop purists, Jay-Z's the largest MC. Nas is caught up, I believe, in a lot of people's eyes. Nas is my number 1 right now, but I can see anybody saying Jay-Z number 1, not mad at that. If you think he's the king of rap, I'm not going to debate that. But how much music since 1996 to now, or before 1996, does Jay-Z have that was never put on albums? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many songs I feel like could have made some of his albums, and we'll talk about a few of them. Or maybe a lost tapes from Jay-Z would be pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wrote an article about Jay-Z called Jay-Z the Greatest MC of All Time in 1,000 words. And I had to write it on Jay-Z. Another friend of mine named Sid, he wrote Nas is the greatest MC in 1,000 words. Nas my favorite MC, Jay-Z his favorite MC. So we flipped it for a little competition, a little fun a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I put in there several songs that I want to talk about on here today um, that could have fit at some point, maybe on an album or two, and some of them might not have fit, but it would probably fit on a nice unreleased lost tapes. So, excuse me, I want to start off with the track early this morning. You know what I'm saying? Early this morning, to me, had a blueprint feel. It sounded like he recorded that joint maybe close to the blueprint era. Somebody can fact check that. You know what I'm saying? But I did like 12 songs that I feel like would be a nice lost tapes. Early this morning to me is a good jump off song for the album. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's only about 2 minutes long. Jay Z was in his hustler bag. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it definitely sounds like a Volume 3 Dynasty Blueprint One era. Uh, track two is called "Reach the Top." Now, "Reach the Top" I want to say came out in 1994. You got to YouTube that. Check out the song "Reach the Top." Jay Z flow. He was doing both type of flows, a fast flow and a slow flow. So it sounded like it was in that era of that like in my lifetime remix. You know what I'm saying? That period. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to Reasonable Doubt when he was changing his flow. I put I broke down some of the lyrics to Reach the Top on that article I did about Jay Z because that song he predicted his entire career. You know what I'm saying? And it's perfect foreshadowing. You know what I'm saying? Number three, that joint "What's in a Name." It sounded like "What's in a Name" came out 93, 94 era also, and he was like spitting a lot of different names. It's not like Broken Language by Smooth the Hustle and Trigger the Gambler, but kind of remind you that a little bit. See, he's funky with the wordplay, but he was naming different dope MCs from the era and before. You know what I'm saying? "What's in a Name"? Check that out. Then Dead Presidents 3, which I think that it would be dope if we would add another whole verse onto it because it's kind of short. I actually thought Dead Presidents 3 would have fit perfectly on American Gangster. Uh, I know some people might not want to hear this, but you take Hello Brooklyn off because I don't think Hello Brooklyn fit um, American Gangster at all. You'd put that Dead Presidents 3 on American Gangster, and it's right there. I don't want to say right there at Reasonable Doubt, but more to me that sequencing would have just took it to another whole level. Because American Gangster is already an amazing album. You know what I'm saying? You talking about an album 11 years after Reasonable Doubt. Some people think it's the top 4 or 5 Jay Z album. Some people, American Gangster, some people favorite Jay Z album. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I would have put Dead Presidents 3 on American Gangster. Another joint that sounded like it came out during that Dynasty Blueprint era was Addicted to the Game. I'm addicted to the game. Streets keep calling my name. It was more of a hustler joint again, kind of like remind you that I could. It seemed like early this morning and Addicted to the Game was recorded around the same time. So I think that would be a dope one. If you ever heard some of these songs, just YouTube them. You know what I'm saying? Marshall to Hollywood. I want to say that might have been on a soundtrack, but Marshall to Hollywood, I want to say had Sauce Money and Memphis Bleak on it. Very dope song, man. Marshall to Hollywood. Um, Understand Me is a dope song. Love is Love. It's a dope song. Wishing on a Star is one of my favorite Jay Z songs. You know what I'm saying? I want to say Wishing on a Star was done during that like 1998. I think that joint was done during that Hard Knock Lifetime period. And I thought it'd have been dope on Hard Knock Life. Wishing on a Star is dope. A few more joints, man. Get my shit off. It's that track that DJ Envy did called "It's Hova," I believe. But Envy did it. It was on one of Envy's mixtapes. Man, that's one of my favorite Jay Z songs, man. Not sure why they didn't go ahead and work something and get on the album. I think it would have been a dope album cut. Jack and Jay Z, never really loved Jack and Jay Z or something like that, but it could be on the lost tapes though. Yeah, man. Like for you guys, what's some more, man? Yeah, those ones kind of come to mind, and I do believe that Jay Z has enough music where he could have done a lost tapes. I also wonder what songs were left off Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm naming songs that these might not even be songs that actually didn't make albums. These just might have been songs that he made just doing his creative process over the years during this era or do these eras rather. But I would imagine that there are some reasonable doubt songs that we'll never hear. Like this, what else did Ski work on with Jay Z that we'll never hear? You know what I'm saying? It didn't make reasonable doubt. You know what didn't make volume one? You know what I'm saying? While he was probably trying to find out and be creative, he tried to have a balance between the streets and the clubs on volume one. But you gotta imagine every album, every song he made didn't make these albums. You know what I'm saying? So where are those songs at? Volume 2 era, Volume 3 era. Jay-Z was spitting. I bet there are some dope songs during that Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 era, you know what I'm saying, that really were hot. He made a lot of songs pretty fast for the Blueprint and Blueprint 2. But I wonder, because Blueprint 2 is a double album, what was left off? What was left off the Dynasty album? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and even Blueprint 3 time period where Kanye was around some and you still had Just Blaze and some of these guys around. Or there's some other songs in the vaults that never got released. You know what I'm saying? It would be really dope to get a Lost Tapes album from Jay-Z. Now, one song I didn't talk about was Dead or Alive. Now there's rumors about this song. Everyone's heard both versions with him and Soft Money. It's a Tupac diss. But some people will say, and there's another rumor, was it Clark Kent or somebody said that Jay-Z performed a Tupac diss at the Apollo. Nobody seems to have the video. But was this after Pac passed away? You know what I'm saying? Now, Dead or Alive, when was it recorded? Now he said something on Bumping Machiavelli, hold no grudge. You diss me, I diss you. What? Love is love. You know what I'm saying? So when was it done? Obviously, Jay Z dissed Pac on. Pac dissed Jay Z on Machiavelli, began to bomb first and all that. He had dissed Jay Z on several mixed songs that a lot of people didn't hear until after Pac died, but people heard. Some people heard these songs leading up to Pac death. He dissed Jay Z several times. You know what I'm saying? You could pull up on YouTube quite a few lines at Jay Z. And it was probably after that Reasonable Doubt dropped in Brooklyn's Finest with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he did Jay-Z several times. You know what I'm saying? So when was Dead or Alive recorded? People don't understand. Sometimes songs are recorded, it wasn't put on the album, but sometimes songs are recorded early on and just held. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like Long Kiss Goodnight. We know that there was a diss against Tupac. But if Life After Death came out in March 97 or whatever, or during that period, people work on albums for a year back then. People didn't jump right in the studio and release songs and release music the way they release it right now. If an album came out in March 1997, the songs could have been finished for the album 8-9 months before that. That was very normal. Sometimes albums set a year or two before they was even dropped. You know what I'm saying? Into record stores and stuff like that. It was just different back then. You know what I'm saying? So some of those Tupac disses from Jay-Z and Biggie could have been before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, Dead or Alive was pretty hard. You know what I'm saying? Sauce Money went pretty hard too. You know what I'm saying? That still could be put on the lost tapes or something like that just for conversation purposes, historical purposes, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? Guru probably has quite a few Jay-Z songs in the cut somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, Jay just got to give it okay. You know what I'm saying? Or if nothing else, what might be dope, just thinking on top of my head right now, maybe Jay-Z will drop one more album. You know what I'm saying? And maybe if he drop one more album, maybe Guru or someone close to him can maybe persuade him to do a bonus disc and put some of these songs on there remastered. You know what I'm saying? Like I said early this morning, Reach the Top, What's in a Name, Dead Presidents 3, Take It to the Game, Dead or Alive, Marcy to Hollywood, Understand Me, Love is Love, Wishing on a Star, Hova, When the Money Goes. Oh yeah, I know he gave that to Fabulous. You know what I'm saying? He gave When the Money Goes to Fab, and And, he was on a video with Fab, you know what I'm saying? But some people don't know that there's a version of when the money goes with just Jay-Z, 3 verses from him. And I thought it was awesome, man. So not sure why he didn't use it. It was a good look giving it to Fab, but this Brooklyn. I know he got love for Fab and stuff like that. They rock together, but man, when the money goes is dope. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I mean, just some thoughts, man, about Jay-Z doing a lost tapes, man. But nevertheless, man, that's it, man. Episode 49. Didn't want to hold you, man. Go Cowboys. Go get these Redskins today. Peace.